think we need some more sort of tools or biohacks that can really help people. And I suppose you need to tap into the dopamine, serotonin, opioid and endocannabinoid system in another way to try and help you replace rather than try and stop. But that doesn't seem as easy as it rolls off the lips.
No, you have to just be realistic. This is because it starts, and that's another indication of severity. Why am I talking about severity so much? Because severity drives the treatment match. Severity drives the determination of what is the right level of care, what is the right level of support. And this is an addiction that never lets up. So the earlier an addiction sets in, the more difficult it is to put into remission. And we have the constant triggering. These processed food industries, there's no regulation. It's not like cigarettes where you have to be a certain age, or alcohol where you have to go to a certain place to buy it. This is everywhere all the time. And as I said, it's a lot of different substances. So all four of the pathways are hyperactivated. So the right level of support for somebody with a severe addiction is residential for 2 years. But we're not sending millions of people to residential treatment for 2 years. And I've just been doing a lot of reading in eating disorder treatment, and they don't get the substance piece of it at all. Like I just read last night a really lengthy article written by researchers that was a team all over the world. And it's new approaches to putting eating disorders into remission. They don't mention food at all, not once. Not one of the approaches are to connect this out of control eating with specific substances. So you can't find residential treatment, because if you go to a residential treatment center, they will tell you that learning how to eat processed foods, they're there to teach you how to use processed foods, which cripples cell function in 8 ways. It's the most puzzling, befuddling thing I've come across in all these years. Okay, so once I saw this, I really learned this reading the research for the textbook. I thought, okay, we'll offer immersion recovery online. And then Zoom came along. I just, in desperation, when I saw that this is typically severe, I started a daily phone call. It was not enough, not by any stretch of the imagination. And then Zoom came along. And I said, oh, we could do this over Zoom. And I took people from the phone call. The phone call didn't work. They were loyal anyway. So I took 10 volunteers from the phone call. And I said, okay, we're going to be on Zoom all day long. I didn't have enough experience to know that I can't be on Zoom all day long, but we're going to be on Zoom all day long. And we're going to support each other. I was like, so we did. They got Zoom on their laptops or their phones or whatever. They walked around with it in their houses all day long. These are people who were losing control every day. And they'd been losing control every day for 20 years. And at the end of that day, I went around the room, about 10 people, and I said, well, so how was your food today? I had a clean day. I had a clean day. I had a clean day. I had a clean day too. All 10 of them had a clean day. Now, mind you, at this point, I had spent the prior 22 years trying this, that, and the other thing, every program I could think of, none of which worked. Except one. It was my doctoral internship, which I did in a small faith organization. They got it. They followed the food plan. They got all the results. And I missed the significance of that. So I ran for the research that day. I mean, like my jaw was on the floor. Finally, after 22 years, we have an answer. Oh my gosh, something that works. and I found mirror neurons, mirror neurons, mirror neurons, mirror neurons. So we know that the addiction will override the frontal lobe, and that's what an addiction is. You've become a slave to those craving pathways. However, there's a system in the brain that is stronger than the addiction, and it is mirror neurons. So how do mirror neurons work? Why do we have them? So mirror neurons are a very special brain cell that watches, listens, observes to what other people are doing. And that mirror neuron actually reaches over to the surrounding brain cells and encodes, programs, instructs. It puts instructions in those surrounding brain cells to do what the people around us are doing. Now, this is the highest level survival mechanism. It is because humans are pretty small. And for all the 7 million years of human evolution, you had to be around other humans to fight off predators. A hyena, a lion, a tiger, any of those predatory animals could take down a human, a lone human, easily. You had no chance. In a group, you could fight off almost anything. Your group also found you food, water, shelter, protected you from elements, protected your children, and your survival depended on fitting in and doing what the group was doing. So if they were going to look for food, you went with them. They were going to look for water, you went with them. They were, looking for a cave for the night or climbing up into a tree, you did that too. It will override anything. It will take you to death. I mean, ironically, it's if everybody else is sick, then you're going to be like, oh, well, we should be sick too. We should be on some meds. So that's what happened that day.
Sure.
Is everybody, all those mirror neurons were looking around. Oh, everybody's eating clean. Everybody's eating clean. Okay, well, we'll eat clean too. And the encoding of the brain cells was switched just profoundly. They all got through withdrawal that week. And the next week I had a paid group coming in. I'd advertise for them. Same thing.